Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. Okay, today we are going to look at the RA Classroom Satin Chrome 60-70mm back set, door thickness 35 to 45. So this is the BRAVA Metro commercial grade lever lock, which is in the RA series. So this is for the RA series. So I'll probably use this video to show you what it is for the other. Sorry, I'll use this video because it shows you the shape, the size, how to install it, all that sort of stuff. So if you're buying a lever and it's a different function, it'll still be the same. If it's a different color, it'll still be the same. If it's a knob lever combination, it'll still be the same. Everything will be the same. So for this one here, we actually do have a knob lever combination. So I'll explain that in a moment. Let's take everything out. Alright, so there's everything out of the box. Alright, let's go through and show you what we have. We have a piece of plastic which is used to go behind the striker plate, and I believe it's called a strike box or striker keeper or box, something along those lines. It basically gets installed underneath your striker plate like so, and that just makes it a nicer little tidier job. 99% of the time people don't install them, they just install the striker plate and carve out this bit and you're good to go. But some people do like to put them in. It just makes it a little bit more tidy, meaning that, you know, nothing can fall behind the latch and give you any troubles in the future. If you're doing it in wood, there's, you know, the only time I've ever seen anything fall in is when it's a concrete type set up behind. But with wood and all the rest, nobody really fits this, but you can if you want. It's included. The striker plate is stainless steel, so it's a very strong stainless steel. It's got a protective layer on the front. You just peel that off after you've fitted it, and it looks nice and shiny and beautiful. You have two keys included. These are BRAVA keys. Now, if you wish, you can get more keys cut down the track or other locks matched simply by using that corresponding number on the back. So there are your BRAVA keys right there. You have your screws here, so you have a big piece of wire tool, and I'll show you how to use that. You have two long metal screws there to actually attach the lock body. You have four little screws, two of which go for your striker plate, two of which go for your latch. To attach the latch to the door, you would just use those two short little screws in there. Once again, it's got a piece of plastic on the front, so you remove that, and that's a protective coating. The latch itself is a dead latch, so what that means is that when the lock is in the rest position in the frame, this little tongue gets pushed in, making this bigger tongue go dead. So how that works is when it's actually in the door frame like so, we've got the little tongue pushed in and the big tongue going into the hole. The little tongue does not go into the hole, only the big tongue does. And when that little tongue is pushed in, this big latch is solid. Reason being is because if somebody was to come along with a credit card and go between the door, they could actually activate this latch if it wasn't set up correctly. Let me demonstrate. Let's say you've got two of them now inside the hole. If I was to come along with this ruler, I could push that latch down. If I set it up correctly like this and I try and push this latch back, I can't. So it's got like a dead latching function there, a secondary latch to allow dead latching so that you can't shim it. Alright, let's go over this now. Ideally I should have had a lever on both sides, and that's what the lever looks like. Alright, so I'll try and give you some measurements here. So from left to right, we're looking about 6 inches, about 150 from this point to this point. Projection up, and it would be the same on the other side, you're looking about 65 or 2.5 inches. So from this point from your door to the top here, you're looking about 65. As far as this knob combination, I'll give you the projection on this knob just in case you do want a knob lever one. You're looking about 72, 73. So most of the time when you're talking lever, BRAVA Metro RA series, when you're talking levers, you would get normally 90% of the time lever on both sides. Some people want lever and knob. So this one here is a lever knob combination. Okay, so let's look at installation. Now this is a 60 to 70mm lock back set. So what that means is from the center of this square to the edge of your door will either be 60 or 70 mils, and I can quickly show you that. So that's 60mm configuration, and you pull it back, and now it's 70mm center to edge. Most of the time it's 60. You can have 70, and you can also have 127. If you have 127, the part's going to be a lot longer, this center part, and we do sell them separately. They don't come standard with the lock. Okay, so installation. So on a door, the center of the hole to the edge of the door can be 3 different sizes, 60, 70 and 127. So when I measure this one here, center of the hole to edge of the door, I can tell that this is a 70mm back set. If 60 is also extremely common. So let's now install this lock on a 70mm back set. So the lock might come in this configuration here, which is 60, and if I grab the square and I pull it back, it now becomes 70. So the first thing you want to do is put in your latch into the door. Now if the door is open outwards this way, it means this latch here would be able to hit on the ramp of the striker plate and go in. Okay, that's the way it's meant to be. It's not designed to be like this where you've got to turn the handle. So the ramp to the ramp on the frame. So you simply slide this into the side of the door like so. Then you would use your 2 screws. In the bag here you have 6 screws. You use 2 of the smaller ones. One goes here, one goes here. Another 2 of the smaller ones. One goes here, one goes here. And then you get the big ones out of the pack, the big long metal screws, because they're for the actual lock body itself. Once you've got the door to that stage here, you come through with your lever, and you want the keyway to be up if you can. Well, you can. So you just put it so that the keyway is up, which means the grooves are at the top. And you simply align it like so. Okay, so take note, the square drive comes through and a tower or a standoff nut, but a tower on both sides come through like so. Alright, now here comes what some people find the confusing part. You've got this part here, but how do you separate it? So let's do that. Inside this pack here you'll get a black piece of wire, and what that does is it pushes down a little piece of metal in here which retains the lever. So I'm just going to use a little screwdriver here. I'm going to push it down and I'm going to pull it. Actually, I'll use something a bit more skinnier. I think that was off. So I push it down, I can feel it being depressed, then I pull the lever, I remove my tool, I can see a gap's already happening, and I pull it, click, I've got my lever off. Now take note, you've got one little dimple on one side, and then on this side here you've got 2 little dimples. So they need to correspond when you put it back in. That's what this little instruction is for. That means basically you have to put it back in the right position. Reason being is this little hole here allows you to pull the knob off. If you put it in the wrong configuration, you're not going to be able to pull the knob off. So you put it on the door and then you have to destroy the lock to get it off if you ever need to change something. So I'm just using a little screwdriver here just to push this front plate part off. There we go. It just sort of clips off with those little indentations. Alright, so that's now off. That's now off. Alright, now I'm going to fit this. I like to put this keyway to a spot you can access it. So considering the lever would be on this side, like so, like that, I'm going to put this lever knob retainer on the other side because it makes it more accessible. So take note, I've got 2 female parts here which I'm going to line up with my 2 towers, and I have a square drive which I'm going to line up with a square drive. So I pop that over the top there. Most of the time you just pop it over the top and it'll align itself. Give it a little twist, it's on. Now we have those 2 big long screws here, which is 1 and 2. They would go in this position here and this position here. Once we've done that, let's put this back together, pop that back on. Once we've done that, we're going to line up our single lunk and our double 2 lunks. So I can look at my thing, I've got 2 lunks on one side and 1 lunk on the other side. So I'm just going to use them as a guide. I'm going to put it straight over the top and just push it down. Click, click, it's in position. Now we've got our lever, we put that over the top. Using that little tool again, which comes in the pack here, you depress this little retaining key, you'll feel it sink in a little bit. So as you depress it, you push the lever or the knob down and then click. Okay, that knob is now attached back to that backing plate, and that's in. And that's pretty much the installation. So this video I'll use for knob and for lever, but you can assume that when you order a lever, you're going to get lever on both sides. This is a unique lock where it's actually knob lever, so it's a combination of a knob and a lever. Not as common, but it's the only lock I had today to demonstrate what an BRAVA Metro RA lever would look like. The link is in the description to purchase this lock. There's a whole variety of them. We've got entrance, storeroom, classroom, privacy, passage, institution, glass door, and I think there's one more that I can't remember. They are fairly simple to install after you've seen this video. Remember, there are instructions in the box. If you get confused, not sure, just read the instructions. Hopefully this video will streamline it for you and explain how to do it nice and quickly, nice and easily, and then you've got a nice commercial grade BRAVA Metro on your door. Now this types of quality of lock, most locksmiths use all the time for commercial. We even use it for residential as well because it's just so good and strong. It's a sort of product you can put a warranty on without too much issue. If you do go to your hardware and buy other locks, I would advise to not buy the too cheaper ones. You can get a lot of shiny locks that will look the same, but internally they're not the same, and that's what really makes the difference with all of these locks. How long will the latch last? Because if the latch breaks, you're going to be in trouble. How long will the key cylinder last? Because if it breaks, you're going to be in trouble. A lot of the cheaper locks, they're using cheaper parts, so your latches can break because they're made of a die cast, not solid brass. Same with the cylinders. These type of locks use heavier grade of parts, so you'd have a brass cylinder in there, as where the ones from the hardware use die cast, and it's all, you know, basically milled out, minimal material. So these ones here are good for that reason. It's a good, strong solid lock, and you're kind of getting what you pay for without overpaying. Some brands, they sell you the exact same thing, probably from the same company, sorry, same factory, different brand name, but yet they charge you twice the price. That's why Brava and Carbine are, how do you say, good bang for buck. You're getting exactly what you pay for, and they're rock solid as far as reliability and all that sort of stuff, and parts and repairs, and everybody knows the system. All right, leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching.